Welcome as top lacrosse action returns to the base of the majestic Wasatch Mountains. Tonight's game features the University of Florida Gators versus the number 9 ranked Brigham Young University Cougars. The University of Florida comes into this game looking to establish itself as one of the top programs in the USL MDIA. The number 9 ranked Brigham Young University Cougars come in with their lowest ranking of all time, and they're looking to make a statement tonight that will resonate throughout the rest of their season. Hi, I'm Marty Westcott, and welcome once again to Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. We are coming to you live on BYU TV and locally on KBYU TV Channel 11, and it is a frigid night with snow in the forecast. We are looking forward to some hot lacrosse action. With me on the sideline, as always, is the Hall of Famer, the defenseman, Charlie Friedman. And Charlie, BYU comes in ranked number 9, lowest of all time. Florida comes in unranked. What does that mean for both of these teams?
Well, it means the pollsters think BYU is going to win, but I'm not sure that Florida got that memo. They're coming in here to win this game, and they're going to bring a very physical brand of lacrosse tonight.
Talking with Coach Pizarro, he said absolutely Florida was not looking to roll over, and they were going to bring a very physical brand of lacrosse, and that's really going to be led by their junior captain, the potential All-American David Rowland.
The first thing that you notice about David Rowland is that he has great footwork. He is athletic, great control of his stick, nice checks. Look for David Rowland to create a lot of havoc for BYU on the offensive side tonight.
Rowland certainly reminds me of some of the great defensemen that BYU's brought to the table, but he's going to be looking to do it for Florida tonight. Joining us once again on the sideline is the only two-time conference two-way player offensively and defensively, Pete Stevenson. And Pete, BYU's really looking to establish itself so far this season. A couple of players really stepping up to the plate for BYU, defenseman Jordan Harris and midfielder Tyler Monteith.
Yeah, Jordan may have the best stick skills of anybody on this team, offensively and defensively. He's really worked hard in the offseason to gain that stick work, and he's really become a master at the takeaway check. Whereas Tyler Monteith, the guy at the midfield who is going to break your ankles. He will outrun you, he will out-hustle you, is a guy who will create for this offense.
Well, BYU's going to need that stick work and that speed as they face a tough Florida team here today. And as I mentioned, it is cold out here. Brandon Despain is on the sideline. Brandon, how is this weather going to affect us tonight?
Thanks, Marty. Well, it is cold. In fact, it's 27 degrees right now, and the temperature is only going to get lower as the night goes on. Not only is it cold, we're also at high elevation. This is the first time that the Florida team has played above sea level. Look for that to be a factor in tonight's game as well. Marty?
Thanks, Brandon, and we certainly don't look for any excuses from Florida. They are going to bring it. The lacrosse section is going to be hot. It's going to be cold for us, but we're excited. Stay with us. You're not going to want to miss this one. We're going to be right back with starting lineups after this. And welcome back to Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. We are looking forward to a fantastic matchup. Charlie, let's take a look at the Florida starters.
Well, here we have the attack line. Schlegneck comes in with a lot of promise. I've heard great things about his game. Looking forward to seeing what he can do there. Walks and Patrick rounding out the attack line. On the midfield line, here are the boys, Pellerin, Lombard, Pike, and White. White coming in for long stick midi and one of the best in the SELC. On the defense, Rowland, we discussed Bainham and McCarron. Look for Rowland to really captain the squad, but coach here thinks, Florida thinks that it's a really well-rounded defensive line. Coach Pizarro, great coach, very intense.
Here's a take a look at BYU starters, Pete.
Marshall Kay, Drew Shumway, Sam Maxfield had a breakout game last week. They switched up the midfield unit with Cole, Monteith, and Tyre as the starters this week. Cam Archibald, Curtis Salmon, and Jordan Harris rounding out the defense. Really going to be the guys who are hold the glue together for this team.
And we are looking to face off. You've got Monteith facing off for BYU and number 13, Rod Lombard for Florida. There's a good look at Jason Lamb, head coach, 12th season, stellar record of 149-54. And, I don't think he's taking this Florida team lightly at all. And he's ready to get this season moving in the right direction for BYU, coming in with a 2-4 record. You can take a look at the face-off man right there. There's Monteith and Lombard. Referee's just waiting for the signal, and this game will be underway. Maybe he's talking about the new face-off rules, huh, Charlie?
They're talking about something out there. I want them to start this game because it's cold.
New rules at the face-off. They took away the X and placed the sticks a little bit further apart. Lombard winning the draw for Florida.
Look at Murphy Smith's checks. He is just an animal out there.
Smith out of Connecticut, and coming up with it, Zach Davis, number 2. Davis got a little check in the face, didn't call it. Monteith with the wheels that you talked about earlier, Pete, comes up with that ground ball. Zach Davis for BYU, getting it in the box, going against Lombard. Zach Davis was looking to shoot, and Lombard got a nice little check on him, so they're going to settle it up.
Good choice by Zach Davis there to slow it down and get it back to the attack behind and get his offensive middies into the game.
And here's Shumway for BYU. Shumway out of Bingham High School over to Monteith out of Colorado, Columbine High School. There's Marshall Kay, the transfer from Herkimer Community College. Up to Dan Cole to Jordan Tyre. Like you mentioned in the starters, Pete, Coach Lamb switching up the first line midfield, adding Dan Cole and Jordan Tyre.
Looks like he's actually switched up the offense a little bit too. This is something that they didn't run last week. You know, they just ran for quite a while with nobody on the crease, and it looks like they've decided to go with some different type of offense, 6-on-6.
Here goes Cole. He's got a very strong right-handed shot, and he looks back to Tyre. Tyre unable to come up with it. Monteith with the wheels, coming up with that ground ball. So BYU looking for that double and dump. Just a real basic lacrosse play as you get double teamed to look for the open man. Shumway, the freshman, back over to Kay for BYU. Kay really kind of the quarterback back there in the attack. Shumway settling it down. Defended there by Bainham, Florida. And doing a good job.
Quite a patient offense so far for BYU. Lots different than what we saw last week, where they really pushed the ball at all times, no matter what was happening on the field.
And Kay now looking for cutters for BYU, unable to find anybody. So Tyre up to Cole. Cole defended there by Lombard.
Defended him way out there.
And Cole with a nice little
Nice
stick
move.
fake. Doesn't find any open man. Coach Lamb yelling at BYU to move that ball around on the double team. Somebody should be open, unable to find him, so BYU settles it down once again. And here goes Cole once again with the right hand. He'll crank it.
And a nice save.
Nice save by the goalie Rolfling right there. And Florida's going the other way with it.
Good job by BYU to get back and stop that fast break opportunity for Florida.
Lombard gets up to Patrick for BYU. The ball gets on the ground, comes up with McKechnie. And McKechnie, the new goalie this week for
Great outlet
BYU.
pass.
Coming in last week and doing well. And Monteith
There you
over to
go.
Kay on the corner. And for you young players, that's how you fast break right there. Tyler Monteith taking the ball right up, waiting till the defender slid on him, and Kay was able to just camp out right on the pipe.
Good job by Tyler Monteith to outrun his guy who's chasing him from behind, be able to find somebody on the backside. Kay with a nice job just putting it right where the goalie had no chance.
You know what I love about that play is Marshall Kay's presence of mind to get where he needed to be, get in position for that pass. It's great movement without the ball.
So Austin now facing off for BYU, and number 21, Suarez Sarmiento for Florida. Ball still loose. Number 22 coming up with it, that's Brad Schwartz, long stick midfielder for Florida. Ends up with BYU, that's Josh Austin, gets it up to Shumway.
Murphy Smith has won both of those faceoffs for me, for my money. Great checks.
Florida winning the initial draw, but first Murphy Smith forcing the action coming up with it for BYU. So BYU in control now, getting substitutions in. Looks like their second midfield line coming in with Primash, Austin, Chris Warner. And again, patience from BYU. Mark Primash right there, defended by number 33, Biffle for Florida.
Look for this midfield line to really slow the ball down, really kind of take the wind out of the ball, tire out the defense before they start going to the goal.
And Shumway gets it up top to Warner. Over to Primash. And Austin now has a short stick, looking to isolate the short stick behind. That's number 19, Joe Donovan for Florida. The size advantage of Florida, but able to take advantage of it. So
I
Donovan,
like what we saw from Donovan there. Joe Donovan's nickname is Berserker, and I can't wait to watch him during this game and understand how he earned that nickname.
so there's Schwartz bringing it all the way up for BYU. No defenseman. Archibald
Great
able
play
to
by
pick that one out of the air, and the defenseman for BYU with a perfect timing on that slide. Archibald's going to go to the cage.
Great
Kay
looks.
over to Austin. Austin did not have a shot, has the presence of mind to hold on to it, Ball gets on the ground, but Kay able to pick it up. Archibald to shoot that. Finds Shumway over on the other side. Shumway defended there by Bainham.
Nice feet by Shumway. Nice footwork. Nice movement.
Got a nice matchup behind with Kay and Rowland. So there's Marshall Kay right there with David Rowland on him. Now you've got Primish going against number 33. That's Mike Biffle for Florida. And so they've got a short stick behind. Inverted set. Primish just goes around him with a nice shot. And a goalie in great position there. Rowland in great position for Florida. And it looks like BYU stepped on the line, so Maxfield for BYU stepping on the line is going to go the other way.
You know, not enough hustle from Maxfield on that play. He really waltzed up to the ball. You could see it from here. There was a defenseman closing in on him. I think he thought he was alone there. And if he just hustled to the ball, it would still be BYU possession right now.
Those are some of those situations that in high school you can kind of get away with those things, but not at this level.
Yeah, he's got to learn that.
Be interesting to see how BYU's ride works against the Florida Clear. It's going to be a real key matchup today.
And there's Rowland. Going against the defenseman,
Murphy Smith.
Murphy Smith just taking it away. And I think Florida's going to get an offsides call.
You know, nobody is safe when Murphy Smith is near. His checks are amazing.
Actually, the offsides call is going against BYU, it looks like. Coach Lamb, you can see, claiming that Florida was also offsides, but looks like they're going to call BYU offside.
What ended up happening was both players ended up being offsides at the same time. It's going to be curious to see how the refs view this, whether one was off first. And if BYU was off first, they're going to be the ones who are man down.
Okay, so the referee's trying to explain the call. Coach Lamb not happy with it. And
Doesn't
BYU,
look like we have a man down situation there. Oh, we do.
Florida's going to be man up for 30 seconds. Let's see what they can do.
So Coach Lamb talking to the freshman Smith and explaining a few things, and I'm sure they'll get that worked out, but Florida's going to have an opportunity here, man up.
This will be the first offensive possession for Florida. They had a one fast break that kind of went down, had another drop ball right away. Be interesting to see what they do.
So there's Patrick, number 11, over to Lombard 13. Number 5, Wax. There's Patrick, he's their main guy. He was the top scorer in the SELC last year, the Southeast Lacrosse Conference. Top scorer in 2005, so look for him. And here he goes, and there's a nice shot. Just puts it by McKechnie, stick side.
Right at the end of the penalty, too. There's about 2 seconds left in that penalty.
So he's their man. BYU certainly got to get a beat on him. Take a look at the replay here.
That's what you're looking for out of a man-up opportunity, a chance to get a real good, nice long look up top, okay? Does a good job to get rid of it right at the goal.
And back to live action here, BYU. Monteith picking up that fast break on the face-off. Going over the long stick midfielder, Murphy Smith. And that looks like Marshall Kay now. Able to beat his man on the dodge, loses the ball. Smith still with the long stick in there. Great stick handler. They're not losing much there.
No, they're not.
And he comes off the field. So now getting their regular offensive set in here with their first midfielders. Dan Cole coming in for BYU. Marshall Kay just waiting for the substitution. So we've got a tie ball game here with 8 minutes left in the first. BYU controlling the action so far, but we've got a tie. So there's Jordan Tyre, number 27, gets it up to Kay. Defended there by Rowland.
Dangerous pass.
And Rowland very aggressive, and Kay just going around. Nice check, unable to handle it. Kicks it out, though, to Tyre.
Good wherewithal by Kay to make sure he got it out to one of his players, and BYU's able to retain possession.
Great example for you young players out there. Just get that ball out. Don't get in a big scrum with 9 players. Just kick it out of there. Great play by Kay.
You know, Coach Lamb encouraging his offense to move when they don't have the ball. I think that's a key direction from him today. I'd like to have seen a lot more of that against Arizona.
Shumway with that swim move with a nice left-handed shot. Rolfling with a nice save, and we've got a flag down. So we've got a flag down. That's going to be against Florida. We'll see what the call is here.
Looks like a slash on the guy who was defending Drew Shumway there. Not sure his number. Looks like number 15 right there.
They're calling it on number 18. That's our David Rowland. So we got a timeout situation. BYU's going to call timeout, talk over this man up. I think they want to really get one here, get the momentum back in their favor. And you can see Rowland right there. We'll take a look at shots here. So far, it's been all BYU, Pete.
Yeah, but Florida's 1 for 1. Yeah, that's the kind of stat you want to get if you can get a few more shots on goal. You know, BYU's dominated the time of possession so far, and that shot stat doesn't surprise me all that much.
Charlie, I mean, BYU did this early against Arizona last week as well, and it didn't turn out so well.
Well, my thoughts exactly. At this point in the Arizona game, I was relatively confident that BYU was going to pull away. They had a really strong first half of the first quarter, and Arizona was able to simply execute a great game plan and keep the game close and then make some shots when they needed to. This is the time of the game where BYU, if they really intend to win this, needs to separate themselves from Florida.
Now, there are some hardy fans out there as the wind has picked up and we are getting snow. And it is, I can tell you, it is a little bit chilly. You can see the, the horizontal snow there coming across the lights, and we'll see how this affects this Florida team. You'd think BYU would be used to it, but it's difficult for any team to be playing in snow like that.
How'd you like playing in the snow, Pete?
Oh man, it was the worst. We had a game out at CSU one year that there was probably an inch of snow by the end of the game. Freezing. Didn't help that we didn't play very well.
I remember playing University of Denver before they were an NCAA team. We played against them in some snow back in Colorado, and I'll tell you what, for me though, it's just boys playing in the mud. It's a good time.
Luckily it was on a turf field that game.
So back to live action. Tire up to Cole. Cole defended there by number 24, Ryan Pellerin.
Back in my day, we just canceled the game when it was snowing and went to the buffet.
It's probably a good plan. Austin back to Kay. Got the man up for BYU in there. Good defense there by Florida. And they're looking for the top guy, Cole. He'll crank that. There's Tyre with a nice left-handed shot. He's got a great left hand. Kay over to Monteith.
Great looks.
Over to Austin, up top to Cole. Pass was a little bit off the mark, and Cole had to switch it up, was not able to get a shot off.
Good job by BYU to continue to move the ball around. Great job finding somebody on the crease there. That's something that Drew's got to be able to come up with in the future.
Cole trying to get it to Shumway on the crease, bounces off his stick, goes out of bounds, and Florida's going to take it.
Pete, that's where you specialized.
That was my specialty.
Out call number 4 for Florida, taking it. And BYU pushing it with a 10-man ride and throws the old Gilman clear. And speaking of Gilman, Coach Pizarro from Gilman. I don't think they'll ever live that down.
I don't know. I wonder how Gilman High School feels about that clear being named the Gilman. It's really an inartful clear. It's not a very good clear. They're a great high school program.
It's probably choice number 4 out of the possibilities. 5 being given it to the other team. So Archibald taking it for BYU, goes back. That new rule this year, you can go back into their restraining box. And Cole, defended there by number 4. That's out called. The nice check, knocks it loose from Cole. And Monteith coming up the ground ball. He's been a vacuum out there so far today. And Florida just swarming to the ball.
Well, watch for number 19, Berserker. That's where I expected him to get his work done.
Got a delay of game on BYU here. They didn't take the opportunity to get the ball in the box within 10 seconds from getting it over the midfield line.
So unfortunate for BYU as they had a 2-on-1 situation with the goalie. Florida swarming to the ball, but that's the risk you take when you swarm up high there, is if it does get loose. And that could have been a dangerous situation. Number 36 for Florida, Johnson, had Salmon, number 4 for BYU, on the, he had a beat on him, and luckily it just went over their heads. But
well, Salmon showed a little mercy there. I mean, I think he realized the ball that ball was going to go over the Florida clearing guy's head and just held up.
So BYU now looking to clear. And Cole looking to just take it across himself, and does so. Against Schwartz there for Florida, and now Josh Austin, number 19. Defended there by Johnson, number 36 for Florida. And that's Cole for BYU, number 12. Over to Monteith. Monteith defended by Bobby Sunner, number 26. And there goes Marshall
Nice
Kay. He
move
beats
by Kay.
Rowland
Great
with
look.
a feed to Shumway on the crease. To Shumway unable to handle it.
Bad choice by Shumway to try and catch that ball and do something with it. He really has just got to shoot it from wherever he's at on that field.
Sunner on the clear for Florida. Gets it to Schlegneck. Schlegneck just throws it away. They're trying to get it to Palarin.
Guys look cold out there. They're having a tough time moving their legs quick. Everybody just looks slow today.
Schlegneck, number 7. Pizarro called him a very creative attackman and throws that one away. BYU is going to have a clearing opportunity. We've got substitutions on the horn. There's a good look at number 5, Jeremy Wax for Florida, and there's Chris Warner for BYU, number 6, coming in. And Archibald just throws it upfield. Evan Thomas, number 17, big midfielder for BYU. Marshall Kay's open and finds the net with the left hand.
Good job by BYU to take advantage of that clearing situation. This is Evan's first time on the second midfield line and really did a good job finding Marshall. Marshall puts it away. Take a look at it here.
Evan Thomas, Marshall Kay just with the left hand, off stick side, just over the shoulder of the goalie.
I love what Evan Thomas did there. Just nice catch on the clear, nice catchable throw to Marshall Kay. It was a great job. I think that was keyed almost entirely by Evan Thomas. Nice play.
Lombard coming up with it for Florida. Defended heavily there by Zach Davis, number 2. So Florida doing a good job on the faceoff so far today.
They've really won the move almost every single time. BYU's only wins have been coming off hustle off the wings of the faceoff.
Coming off of Murphy Smith checks.
Good point.
Evan Pike, number 10 for Florida, controlling, trying to drive to the right. Austin just pushing him outside. Good defense there for you young players. Just force him to the outside. Don't let him turn back into the middle.
That was great defense. Great foot movement.
Interesting to see Florida trying to do on-ball picks. Not something you see a lot in the outdoor game.
Good point, Pete. Palarin just, almost overthrows Schlegneck right there. Schlegneck with the pass to Patrick, and Patrick wings it wide.
It's a good shot by Florida. You know, it's not necessarily on cage, but they should have somebody backing that up there. And, you know, just a mistake by Florida to not have the backup there.
Patrick's their guy. He's going to be taking the shots, and he finds an opening there and takes it. Here goes Zach Davis. This is the Zach Davis clear, which we see so often for BYU, with a nice swim move. Drops the ball. Again, that's kind of what we saw last week with them at the midfield, is a lot of drop balls. There's Danny White just missing his man. Schlegneck throws it out of bounds, so BYU get another clearing opportunity.
You know, it should be said that BYU in the 6-on-6 defense has played exceptional all year long. I have no concerns about BYU's ability to play defense. The long six are just really good this year.
And you've got McKechnie back there now anchoring in goal, and certainly not much of a drop-off there from Powers. Powers out for the season.
Why is that clear open?
Evan Thomas just wide open on the clear.
It's the second time he's been wide open.
They're running a zone on their ride, and that's allowing guys who were previously covered by an attackman to get open right over the midfield line.
And Maxfield now controlling for BYU. You ask Pete and you get an answer.
Yeah,
Charlie.
no kidding. I'm going to stop asking rhetorical questions and direct them to Pete.
Well, they call me Rhetorical Pete.
Rhetorical Pete. Shumway now controlling for BYU. Defended there by number 35, Eric Abrams.
I'm really curious to see today who BYU is going to give the ball to start their offense with, who they're going to call plays for. So far in this game, they've really only called plays for Dan Cole, and one time they called it for Drew Shumway. I'm curious to see who they think is the man on this team.
Maxfield there, defended by Biffle. And here's Evan Thomas, big freshman out of Poway, California. And he's going with the left hand, nope. And you can see that snow starting to fall again, Mark Primish.
You know, Thomas has kind of a Ruckert feel to him, doesn't he?
Oh, the Ruckert brothers, yes. 6'5" monsters.
Yeah, big guys just get their body between their defender and their sticks and just kind of barrel over you.
And here goes Maxfield looking for Josh Austin on the crease, unable to get the shot away. Nice check there by number 25 for Florida, McCarron. BYU trying to put a pressure right in. McCarron now controlling for Florida, looking for his midfielders and just tosses it up to the attack. There's Patrick coming up there on the sideline. Gets it over to Lombard. Lombard bringing it down. And Jordan Harris had a beat on him. Salmon knocks it down, but number 15, Travis Coffey, puts it away for Florida on the deflection. So BYU seemed to be in position, knocked the ball down, but Coffey just bounced right to him, and he was able to put it by McKechnie. Take a look at this here. And it looks like there's a flag down as well. You take a look, the pass comes across, Salmon gets it, knocks it down, but it bounces right to Coffey, and he just puts it by McKechnie.
Very heads-up play by Coffey. Nice goal.
Now they called an illegal body check on Harris. He was a little bit late on his check, and so BYU is going to be man down. Marshall K coming up on the side, on the far side there. He cannot go over the midfield line, so BYU, if Florida is able to push that ball forward into the offensive zone, they're immediately in their man down situation. And we've got a procedure penalty on blue, so Lombard.
Very fortunate for BYU.
And there's Monteith now. We'll see if BYU can take and work this penalty away.
Boy, you hate to waste that penalty, that man-up situation with a illegal procedure call on the face-off.
But BYU's got some nice wheels out there that they can just run around and hopefully work this off.
Florida's got an extra guy on defense now, so they're going to double team the ball. And sometime this can be a dangerous time, which looks like we got a flag down here.
The defenders become extra aggressive, and with that, sometimes will cause themselves a penalty, which is what happened right here. And the ball is going to go back to BYU as soon as the referees call it, which is just in time.
And another flag. Did we get a second flag there?
You can see that there's 6 Florida players around that ball, and the referees blew that whistle just in time before somebody came and blew up that pile.
Looks like BYU is going to be 2-man up, and this is a real opportunity for BYU to take the lead again and show us what they can do on offense.
So we've got a slash and a hold. So Florida's going to be 2 men down for a minute. And for BYU, this is a great situation. But again, just as you were talking about, Pete, you get that extra man on defense. They want to be aggressive and get the ball back, but aggressiveness translated right there into 2 penalties.
We're going to be 5-on-4. Jordan Harris's penalty has not released yet, so they're going to play a severe. It looks empty out there with so few guys out on the field.
And here goes BYU with Monteith with a nice dodge. Goes to the crease with a nice left-handed shot, and Rolfling.
Another penalty.
Rolfling comes up with a nice save, and there's going to be another penalty on Florida. We'll see what they call here. So a lot of penalties so far in this game.
Looks like they're calling a slash on number 22 for Florida.
That's Schwartz. So let's take a second here and see what the situation is, but it looks like it's going to be 5-on-3 here for BYU. So Florida is 3 men down, and BYU with 2 men up, and Marshall K just puts it by the goalie. So again, Marshall K going off stick side, right over the shoulder. That's the second time he's done that tonight.
Florida's defense just does not know the meaning of back off and play safe defense. So they are absolutely pressing the ball. Even in the 5-on-3 situation, they were playing aggressive, I thought.
So there's Coach Pizarro kind of wondering what's going on here, but Marshall K now with his 3rd goal of the night. And he just puts it again, off stick side, right over the goalie's shoulder. You young players, it's hard to save for the goalie right there. And I think BYU's seeing that goalie doesn't have a great move to his left side.
He's doing a good job of getting down low, but he's having a tough time to that off stick side high.
And there goes BYU with the fast break, Josh Austin. Schwartz on the beat, trying to...
Great look.
Marshall K almost had his 4th.
Hit the pipe.
He kind of took a little underhand dinker there and wasn't able to get it in.
Look at these checks for Murphy Smith. You watch.
Yeah, Murphy Smith one-on-one in the open field. I'm taking Murphy Smith.
No question.
Suarez Sarmiento just overmatched there by Murphy Smith. Cameron Archibald coming up with it. Sees Austin deep.
Good idea.
Austin's going to go on the fast break if he can pick it up. And there goes Josh Austin, and Florida able to get back. BYU not in a great fast break opportunity here. Austin getting pushed from behind, no call. Oh, we do have a flag down.
There's a flag down.
So Florida's going to be man down again. And BYU will look to hold for 7 seconds so they can get an opportunity here without a face-off in the second quarter.
Yeah, if you have possession of the ball in your stick at the end of a quarter when you are man up or man down, then you receive the ball at the beginning of the next quarter without a face-off.
So Monteith now is going to control for BYU, and they will just hold it there for a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and BYU will have the ball in a man-up situation to start the second quarter. BYU leading 3-2, and it's been an interesting first quarter. BYU dominating really in control and in possession, but Florida's got 2 goals on the board, Charlie.
This is replaying a little bit of the scenario from the Arizona game, but I don't think it's that BYU team tonight. I see some confidence out there. The passing looks good. The offensive 6-on-6 looks a little more inventive and interesting. The defense is playing great. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love Murphy Smith and Salmon and Archibald. They're knocking down passes well. I sense that BYU is going to take control of this game. But I've been wrong, and I'll tell you something else. There is no question that Florida's game plan is to come out and try and beat BYU up, play physical.
Well, and that's cost them a little bit so far here, Pete, with at least 4 penalties, and I may be off, and maybe more than that, maybe 5 or 6.
Well, these refs are going to, so far they've shown what they're going to call. And from here on out, Florida's going to need to make sure that they adapt to what the refs are calling. They're calling that push from behind that we just saw. They're calling those big checks. And so, it's really an adaptive type of mode that Florida's going to need to get in here to make sure that they're not doing those things that the refs are making calls on.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see if Florida can keep up that pace for an entire 4 quarters, because, again, we are in a frigid zone as well as a high elevation zone, and it'll be interesting to see how long they can keep it up. But they are coming according to their game plan, and they're bringing it to BYU as best they can, and so far only 1 goal behind. A lot of lacrosse left to be played here tonight. So
far I've been really impressed with the goalie for Florida, Rolfling. He's done a great job of getting those low balls. I'm pretty sure that he has we're going to see the stats here in a second, but looks like he's got 5 saves so far. Okay, that's a great save percentage. And if he can keep that up, they've got a great chance in this game.
Well, there you can see Florida's shot versus goal percentage, Pete. 3 shots, 2 goals. That's a great percentage. And for BYU, they just can't allow Florida to take advantage of those opportunities, which is exactly, Charlie, what Arizona did last week. When they had the opportunities, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, and Florida took advantage of one unsettled situation, picked up the ball very nicely and put a goal in. Yeah, they're very opportunistic that way.
And they scored on their other man-up situation. So, again, taking advantage of the opportunities as they come. And BYU's got to look to just make sure that they're controlling the ball when they have it. So they're in a man-up situation now for another 20 seconds or so. And just throw it into the ground. Tyre comes up with it. But high pressure there from Pellerin. I'm probably killing their names. For Florida now goes back to Kay.
Not a whole lot of time left on this penalty, and they haven't really done anything yet.
Tyre looking for Austin right on the crease.
What a keeper. I love this Florida keeper.
Great save. Great
save.
He
is a good player.
Austin
We're all even now.
Point-blank shot, and Monteith finding Austin behind, over to Kay, back to Austin, looking for Dan Cole up top.
It's always a tough thing when you come out of a penalty on defense to be able to come back and make sure you pick up everybody right away. But Florida did a great job that time of picking everybody up, making sure no one was a threat to the goal.
So BYU settling up into their offense. Austin, sloppy pass up to Cole, unable to get it, and Florida comes up with it.
Great check by Dan Cole. Great check.
And stick right out of his hands.
Harris coming up with the number 31. We talked about him in the pregame. Great on ground balls, great stick work.
That was a nice look.
Nice look to Marshall Kay, unable to come up with it. Kay going against Alcalt there. Alcalt takes a shot from Harris.
Interesting, right before the game, number 4 for Florida, Alcott, had his stick break when he tried to catch a pass, so he's playing with his coach's stick this game.
And that's just a consequence of the cold, really.
Yeah, there's no other reason for that. Just a bad night for breaking sticks. Not going to be the first tonight. Not going to be the last.
May have been the first. So we've got some substitutions going for both teams.
Not sure how this ended up with BYU ball, but BYU's going to start with it.
Not sure how they ended up with a horn either, but
Austin for BYU over to Kay.
I don't know if people are aware, but this game is being broadcast all through Latin and Central America tonight in Spanish and Portuguese.
And there's Tyre over to Monteith. And Cole. Cole was looking for Tyre, but Tyre was still getting up from being checked there by Schwartz and went over his head, but he was able to pick it up.
You know, that's a good idea by Dan Cole. You know, he knows where his guy is. It was right where he was, but just didn't make the connection there.
See, and it's an important point that you make, Pete, where, you know, he's thinking to the next pass, and your young players, you know, when you receive that pass, you should be thinking, where am I going next with it? Monteith now with a nice little dodge, trying to take it left, rolls to the right. Able to sneak it in there with a nice save there by Rolfling.
Man, Florida's MVP so far, no question, is Rolfling. That's not a good omen if you're Florida, that your goalie is your MVP.
You take a look at the shots there. 10 shots, only 3 goals for BYU. So, and I think he's made probably 6 saves so far. And BYU's just got to keep peppering away at the goalie and able to score. So, got some more substitutions again on the horn.
You know, this game has got to be real tough on the goalies. It is so cold, and the goalies really aren't moving around very much. And they've got to react quickly.
Here's Shumway now trying to isolate on Roland and just goes wide. Oh, and he gets stuck in Kay's face mask.
That's a first.
And the referees let him pop it out. Now Cole with the crank, and oh boy, he hits number 24, Pellerin, right in the knee.
Oh.
That's coming at plus 100 miles an hour right there. You know, he's going to be out for a little bit. Someone called the trainer on this one.
Plus 100 miles in about 20 degrees. And you can take a look at this one here. Just right off the leg.
Right off the inside of his knee. That hurts.
And Pellerin's limping off, and hopefully he's okay. But that that is one of the casualties of lacrosse, where you step in front of some of those shots. And you know, it reminds me, Charlie, of Ricky Kirshner, who played here at BYU and at Princeton, and he said his first move every game was to shoot it right in the chest of the defenseman.
That was his first move, believe me. That was, you know.
You experienced that.
I did, and you got to watch out when you're playing against a nasty attackman. That's a nasty attackman move right there.
And Roland clearing for Florida, getting it upfield with a nice catch by Johnson. And Johnson gets it up to Patrick, and Patrick taking a hit from Harris, and
the flag does come out. I thought it would.
Referee's really tight today, calling it really tight. Harris is going to get an illegal body check. He's asking the referee why, and maybe we can get a look at it. I don't know if we've got the replay or not, but he's coming off for a minute.
Well, watch the tape of the game and you'll know why. I think that was clearly a penalty.
So Florida's going to be in a man-up situation here for a minute. Take a look at the ground ball so far, Pete.
22-9. You know, this was the same thing that happened last week. BYU got up early on ground balls, and it kind of evened out the rest of the game. You know, let's look to see if BYU can keep up this ground ball percentage.
Schlegneck over to number 10, Pike. Back to Schlegneck, tries to come around. Unable to get it. Salmon defending number 5, Jeremy Wax.
Salmon got him on the head. The ref considered it incidental. For incidental contact, he won't get a foul if he checks somebody on the head. But
oh, and there's McKechnie with a beautiful save.
Great save.
And another one. So Florida with two
look.
great shots, and McKechnie with 2 great saves.
Number 20. First saves of the game.
Lilliquist unable to come up with it for BYU. Roland going the other way for Florida. That's Wax, number 5 for Florida, now controlling it. And Florida had 2 great opportunities on that man up, and McKechnie came up huge.
Well, he also came up huge on that outlet pass, and Lilliquist dropped the ball, which is really a shame because it prevented BYU from getting into a really terrific fast break opportunity, and it allows Florida to preserve their possession.
So Pike now going against Lilliquist. Lilliquist, a defensive midi specialist, and there comes a slide from Zach Davis. The ball goes down. Roland Lombard, number 13, excuse me, for Florida, and McKechnie coming up with it in the crease. And here goes Zach Davis. And Zach Davis will likely take it across the midfield line. Looking upfield, finds Lilliquist, unable to handle it. Some of the same issues they had last week against Arizona, right in the midfield transition, unable to handle the ball.
Lilliquist is a great athlete. He's a walk-on to the football team here, and you know, is a guy who physically has all the talent to be on this field.
Great checks by Murphy Smith.
Murphy Smith keeping it alive in the midfield. Pike comes off the field with his glove hanging from his hand, and there's some physical play right in front of us. The referees let that go, and it's going to go to BYU. So some hard hitting right in front of the bench area. Gets some guys excited. I think we've got a replay of this. Oh, great shot of this. 4 BYU defenders against Sebastian Fox, number 3. Number 19 comes in. Joe Donovan for Florida tries to take it away and goes BYU's way. So now here's Austin against Danny White. Danny White, not of Dallas Cowboy fame, but and let's see, did that ball go out of
advance by BYU?
You know, Danny White is a fine long stick midfielder in his own right.
Gave Josh Austin all he could handle there and really caused that 10-second violation.
They got it over the restraining line, but not into the box. And that is what they needed to do within the 10 seconds. So Florida just throws it away and gives it right back to BYU. And that's what Florida cannot afford to do tonight, is continue to give BYU opportunities.
BYU's got their second midfield line in here. And looks like Florida's going to take a timeout.
Florida wants to talk this over. BYU's got a little bit of momentum, looking to put another one in and go up 4-2, and Florida wants to make sure that they've got everything organized with regards to their defensive sets. And, you know, so far today, you know, BYU's having some similar issues, Charlie, they had to last week in controlling the midfield.
If you're Florida right now, you're very happy. They're doing exactly what they need to do. They're playing a team that is deeper, that has some standouts that I'm not sure that Florida has. But the score's 3-2. Right. It's exactly what they need to do. They just need to hang around and get a few bounces, and then they could win this game.
Well, and we've seen a lot of upsets in the USL MDIA so far this year. I mean, teams beating teams. For instance, Pete, the CSU Sonoma game today.
Overtime game, probably the 2 best teams in the USL MDIA right now. Overtime game out in Northern California, and it's really a wide open race this year.
And CSU won that game, right?
Yeah, CSU won in overtime there. It's nice to see the RMLC, showing going up well against a Sonoma team out in California, a team that we're going to have here in about a month's time.
But you've got Santa Barbara, defending national champions, with a couple losses, and a strong San Diego team looking good this year. And you take a look at some of the stats so far, shots and saves. Obviously, BYU with more shots, Florida with more saves, and it's indicative of the score. But it's really, it's almost anybody's race. Anybody within the top 10 can beat each other, any day of the week. And we were talking earlier about BYU's their schedule, and they've got a lot of lacrosse left to be played here this year. So back to live action. Evan Thomas now trying to pick it up for BYU, and the freshman out there just not quick enough picking that ball up. He'll learn that, but Florida now going the other way.
Great look back the other way for Florida there.
And there's Donovan going the other way for Florida. And Warner trying to take him, and McKechnie with a nice save. So Donovan takes it all the way in, takes a left-handed shot. McKechnie with a nice save. Murphy Smith now going the other way for BYU with the long stick with a nice footwork.
Goodness, I love Murphy Smith.
Puts Jeremy Wax on the ground.
I think Murphy Smith is my favorite BYU lacrosse player for a while. Maybe not since Brian Roloff have I seen anybody handle a long pole like that. It's amazing.
I don't know if Roloff had those kind of wheels. So
he reminds me a lot of what Aaron Quigley was able to do for us.
That's absolutely true.
Back.
And that's certainly no offense to Brian Roloff by any means. But now we're up top here. We've got Chris Warner over to Josh Austin, over to Maxfield. BYU looking to set up their offense again. Shumway out of Bingham High here in Salt Lake City. Austin over to, nope, he's gonna hold it up. He's got Roland on him. Shumway unable to handle that pass. Just some difficulty, maybe the cold's affecting him, but just some sloppy passing there.
Nice check, though.
Shumway on the right against Bainham. And here comes Roland. Trying to go upfield, is able to do it, and Salmon with a nice little pick. And there's Kay.
Great look.
Kay with some
terrific
eyes
great
behind
ball
his
movement.
head.
And Maxfield needs to learn how to continue rotating the ball in that situation.
Yeah, he had a pass on the backside that he would have had to thread the needle on. I'm not sure that's one that Coach Lamb wants him to take the chance on.
But Salmon with a nice pass up to Kay, who must have had eyes in the back of his head because he knew that player was coming, made a nice little dodge, got over to Maxfield. There's Mark Primus, number 16. 16, a storied number here at BYU.
Way to pump your own number, Marty.
Oh, is that my number? I forgot.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
your number.
I forget, I'm old. Josh Austin now, trying to roll around the cage. I was thinking more of Steve Austin and Mark Chogany.
Sure you were, Marty.
Marshall K now.
Oh, did they
top.
wear 16? I didn't remember that.
Chris
I
Warner.
only remember you.
Up to Primush. He's going to drive to the right. Getting a shot, just taking some shots. Probably not the best shot, but at least trying to put one on cage.
Well, definitely not the best shot, and it was not on cage. But I applaud him for uncorking that, especially having it backed up.
The second midi line is really, designed to hold on to the ball for a little bit of time, take some time off the clock. Their job necessarily isn't to go out and beat somebody and score a lot of goals.
And we've got a flag down. Roland's going to get a flag on Warner. Roland saying he turned his back, but that looked pretty obvious that give him a push in the back with possession. We'll take a look at the replay here. And anytime you put the shoulder on the number, I think you're going to get the penalty.
Tonight, that seems to be something they're really watching for. Almost every time they're making contact with the back there, it's been a penalty.
I do like Florida's man-down defense, though. It's very aggressive. It's kind of unusual. And it doesn't seem that when BYU is man-up that Florida has one less guy on the field.
Well, BYU's had plenty of opportunities and haven't put them away here so far. They've only scored one man-up goal, and they were 3 men up at one point and have had a number of opportunities. And we'll see if they can put another one in here today. Certainly, Coach Lamb would like them to put another one in. The score being 3-2 with 6:31 left in the second. I think BYU would hope that they'd be up by more, but Florida, like Coach said, they're going to bring it today, and they have so far.
Really pressuring out really, really far on this man-down defense. It's going to leave guys wide open on the backside.
And there's a nice little stick fake by Cole, and he was looking for that one.
He's really mastered that move there, and look for him to use it some more on this game.
Yeah, but man-up situation isn't the time when you want to put a move on somebody. Mostly you just want to rotate the ball and find the open man.
Oh, and there's a nice shot by Cole. Cole with the nice shot, just blows it by Wolfling there. But I think you make a good point, Charlie. As the young players are looking at that, you're in a man-up situation. You have an extra guy. It's impossible for the defense to rotate if you just move the ball.
This is Dan Cole's specialty, an outside shot where even he doesn't know where it's going. He's just going to shoot at that goal, and if he doesn't know, the goalie doesn't know either.
Well, that's a great strategy, Pete.
It's worked for him for a couple of years now. I don't know why he'd change it.
He couldn't sit at the top of the restraining box and call which part of the goal he's shooting at?
Not at the speeds that he shoots, no.
And at the speeds that he shoots, I don't know that he needs to.
No, he doesn't.
So Florida now getting down to the attack. Here's Patrick. And number 6, that's Claren settling it down for Florida. Over to Johnson, number 36. Now BYU with a 4-2 lead. You see the snow coming down once again. The wind and the cold. It's a great night for lacrosse. I feel like that old announcer on English Premier Soccer that you used to watch on public television. It's a great night for lacrosse.
It would be really hard. I mean, it is really hard for me to explain to people watching this broadcast how cold it is. I'm in 2 fleece jackets and a shell, and I am freezing.
Feels a lot like the Michigan game we had here 3 years ago in 2004. Feels a lot like that game. So Michigan, if you're watching, you know what it feels like.
So here's McKechnie now over to Harris, and Harris just kind of lobs it up to Cole. So using that full 20 seconds now that they have to clear to the half field line. Austin back to Shumway. Over to Marshall K, and I think Monteith was thinking about going to the goal before he got the ball there, and was able to pick up the ground ball.
He was wide open there, just started to make a move before he had the ball.
And Shumway gets it up to Josh Austin, number 19. Up to Dan Cole, number 12. And there goes Kay going against Roland. Kay with the left hand gets it behind to Shumway to X. Shumway looking for cutters, and Josh Austin now settling it down for BYU. BYU, nice patient offense. Cole getting into the box, and he's going to look to the cage. Looked for cutters on the crease, unable to find anybody open. Smart just to pull it out. and reset.
Look how far out they're playing defense on him.
You know, I think they've decided that they're going to be aggressive here, and it's really worked out for them well in the first half here.
So BYU continues to work in its offensive set. Shumway's going to take it from the corner and look for an isolation against his man, Bainham. And he takes it all the way to the right with a nice move to the left. Finds Kay on the opposite corner, and Kay just goes underneath the goalie.
Okay, I've died and gone to heaven. That is exactly what I want to see from the BYU offense. Great vision, great passing, great play. I love it.
You take a look on this replay here. Shumway making the drive. The slide comes from the far side defense, which leaves Marshall Kay wide open, Pete.
Yeah, you know, Drew had two guys open that he could throw to here. The Florida guy was right in the middle of them. Great choice hitting Marshall. He's a guy who will finish that for you most of the time.
Marshall Kay with 4 goals tonight. Really leading that BYU offense, and the wind is picked up.
Oh, the front just arrived.
If you hear us, if our teeth are chattering, that is why.
I don't know how we're going to call this game.
Holy cow, I feel sorry for those refs out there.
And there's Zach Davis now taking it on the Zach Davis clear, and he gets tripped up, and the referee is going to throw the flag. And you can take a look at the assist there. BYU 5 goals, 5 assists. That's kind of unusual, but bodes well for BYU so far.
You know, the one thing that we thought about, the one thing we talked about last week was how they weren't working really well as a team. And the fact that they have those kind of stats this week shows that that's been something that they've worked on.
And we've got a timeout here on the field. I don't know why a team would call timeout at this point. It just makes everybody cold, but looking for some strategy. We're going to take a quick break, and BYU's leading this game 5-2. You're going to want to stick with us. There's a lot of lacrosse left to be played, and it could get interesting if the snow keeps falling. We're going to be right back. Hey, and welcome back to a frigid South Field on the campus of Brigham Young University. BYU leads 5-2, and we've got BYU possession. Tyler Monteith now gets it back to Austin. Over to Kay. Back to Austin. And Kay makes a nice little roll dodge there on Roland. And Kay looking cross field to Monteith. Monteith doesn't take it. Cole's up top. Little
nice move.
Stick fake. To Monteith. Oh, with the bounce shot, young players. Monteith up top with the bounce shot.
What a great play here. Everybody working together. You have a couple of cross crease passes. You have Dan Cole making a move and finding Monteith on the other side of the field. You know, this is what BYU needs to get back into the winning ways.
I love what Dan Cole did on that play. I just loved that assist. It was fantastic. Realizing that he had drawn the defense, that Monteith was open, getting him a nice catchable pass. It's great.
So we have Monteith facing off, BYU leading 5-3.
That's pretty much 5 wins for Murphy Smith and 3 wins for Florida.
Yeah, BYU and Florida kind of sharing the draw, but Murphy Smith coming up with the ground balls, and I can barely talk anymore.
Yeah, this game looks to me to be a little bit of a coming out party for Murphy Smith, and I expected that. He came in with a lot of hype, but he's absolutely a terrific player, and he is physically imposing. He is a big, strong guy.
Shumway now controlling for BYU. Makes a little move on his defender out call, and Roland defending Kay. Kay has gotten the better of that matchup so far tonight.
They are very far out here, and look for Monteith and Cole and some of these other quick attackmen and midfielders to be able to beat their guys.
And I'm not sure if that's the scouting report on BYU to pressure them out that far, because they've got talented stick handlers with speed that can beat you very quick. And there's Cole now, rolling back to his left, gets it to Tyre. And it looks like Tyre's going to take his turn up here. He's got a nice left. Over to Kay. Gets it back to Maxfield.
Tyre was an All-American player out of Oregon, and looks to me like the high school ranks up in Oregon are developing nicely. He really is a pretty terrific player.
And you see that play there, Dan Cole actually came over and set a screen on his right. Tyre decided to just take it to the left, seeing that his defender was going to go with him. And Monteith and White racing off the field, that was interesting to watch, because those are 2 speedsters right there. Roland now trying to clear for Florida. Gets it up to Lombard, number 13.
Good clear by Florida. Way to use all of the field, not making passes all the way across the field.
Look.
Good job by Florida there.
Very nicely designed clear, I agree, Pete.
Patrick gets it to Pike, gets it to Lombard. You know, it's that old adage that you can move the ball much quicker passing it than you can running.
Is that old?
Well, it's older than me, which means it's old.
Good point.
Salmon now looking to take it out for BYU.
Having to get the ball out of the bleachers. And surprised there's this many people here. It's pretty cold out.
There's a hardy crew over there on those metal bleachers for BYU. And the flags are fully staffed there with the wind. Nice stick fake there by Jordan Harris. You mentioned he's one of the best stick handlers on the team as a defenseman. And BYU was offsides, and the referees missed it. But it's going to go back to Florida anyway. But BYU was offsides, and the referees missed that one.
It was a nice ride by Florida.
You know, they changed something up. Originally, they were leaving their attackmen back on the offensive side of the field. Now they are matching feet with the midfielder who's going over.
So nice clear by Florida. Again, Florida's done a decent job.
Murphy Smith's check. He is amazing.
Lilliquist now picking it up for BYU. And throwing it right to the Florida player. That's Fox, number 3 to Patrick, number 11, and McKechnie had a beat on that one. Nice save by Glenn McKechnie.
It's so hard in these type of instances for a goalie to move that quickly and to be that in focus.
And McKechnie runs out of the cage. I thought maybe he had broken his stick, but they're going into that ride that they did last week with the goalie coming out. And it's successful.
Pays off.
BYU coming up with it now. McKechnie going the other way.
He's going up the field. This is how Chris Powers got hurt last week. Let's hope the same fate isn't in for this time.
McKechnie way downfield. Maxfield now trying to control it. If Florida can get it downfield, McKechnie's still not back. You know, you mentioned the fate of Chucky Powers last week, Pete, and you've got the senior Glenn McKechnie now tending goal for BYU, and this week Christian Kikamoto has come off the red shirt and is eligible to play. So he may, you know, if McKechnie were to go out, they've certainly got a capable backup in Kikamoto, who is all state out of Colorado.
Well, DJ Sullivan's a pretty good player too.
Out of Timfew High School yet.
Nice hit.
We got 4 seconds left. I don't think the people on the field know what's going on here.
The end of the half comes with a little bit of mixed up play, but you know, we have got a great game going so far here. It's 6-2, BYU leading, and there goes Marshall Kay with 4 goals, and it's a cold, frigid game. Coming up at halftime, we've got a bit with BYU Lacrosse and their pregame rituals. We're going to talk with both coaches, and we'll look at the stats and highlights. So certainly you're going to want to stick with us and not leave this one. The weather could really turn this one into an interesting matchup. We're going to be right back with our halftime highlights after this.
Okay, here's Coach Lamb. Coach Lamb outscored the Florida Gators 3-0 in the second quarter. Talk us through that second quarter.
Well, I guess we just got a little bit more comfortable. We decided to play aggressive and smart. I think last week we played aggressive and not smart sometimes. And we're not perfect, but it's definitely more fun when you're taking advantage of some opportunities. We're playing good defense, clearing the ball a little better. We're still throwing the ball away, which is no fun to watch, but I like the way we're playing. We're playing a little bit better. So.
The offense has been more patient. Has that been a focus this week, or what do you guys focus on offensively this week so far?
Well, apparently we're too patient. The Zebras are, for some reason, thinking we're stalling. That's a compliment to me. Any coach that knows my program, I've never stalled in my life. It's almost like hilarious. But anyway, so we got to hold on. You know, we are emphasizing holding on to the ball, being smart, even though we still had a throwaways every once in a while. But we want to be smart. We want to just have the ball. Obviously, the game feels better than last week. Why? Because it's been on our end, you know, offensively. So if we can keep doing that, you know, I guess good things will happen.
Okay, thanks, Coach Lamb.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. And my brain must be frozen or something, but we're going to take another break here. We'll be right back with our halftime highlights after this. Stick with us. 6-2, BYU. Hey, welcome back. And let me try this one again. Everyone's heard about athletes who don't wash their lucky underwear or wear the same socks every game. But what do BYU athletes do? Tony Stauffer tells us just how superstitious some athletes can get and why their rituals might be a good thing.
Athletes have always been known for their crazy rituals and superstitions, and BYU athletes are no exception.
During warm-ups, we're given 2 sports bras, a black one and a white one. I have to wear the white one during warm-ups and the black one during competitions.
Just warm up a little bit, take my headband, you know, that Nike, that little thing, it's going down all the time. And one of my socks is a little bit shorter than the other one. What else? Just one knee pack.
I have one thing I do before every game. After we line up with the teams and shake hands, I go and I kneel in the crease. I tap my pipes and I pull up pieces of grass out of the ground.
But if you asked these athletes why they need these pregame rituals, they probably couldn't tell you.
I wish I could tell you why I do it, but it's just something I've done.
I don't know, I just started worrying like that a long time ago.
I don't know, just one of those superstition things, I guess. I don't know, no reason.
According to Coach Lamb, he's seen how some superstitions can get in an athlete's head and affect their play.
I remember there was a player in particular that we had too much time to warm up, and it totally threw his game off. I can remember another instance where somebody didn't have enough time. Coach, I didn't get to do my whole routine. I'm like, well, the game's starting. What do you want me to do? But, you know, I think you're right. Certain players feel like they have to have just the right amount of this, that, and the other, and then they're ready to go.
Though athletes are known for their strange pregame habits and superstitions, an important part of competing is the use of in-game routines that help an athlete maintain a strong mental focus.
One of the things I try to get the athletes to focus on is the routine should be designed to help them get in the right psychological state prior to performing their skill, whatever it is.
As part of his recommended routine, Chamberlain advises the use of key words that help athletes to center and ignore distractions.
I started that last year. Toss it high, hit it deep, and I just repeat that over and over while I bounce the ball and spin it in my hand. I noticed I was able to focus on only my serve and not the score or the crowd or what happened the play before.
I have certain keywords that I tell myself, like on beam. Before my front aerial, I have to concentrate on my arms and keeping my chest up. Just certain keywords that remind me to stay on the beam.
For Jordan Harris, it's not key words that keep him going, it's whistling and singing.
I like to whistle to myself sometimes during the games, sing to the opponent every once in a while. Sometimes we'll sing a little love song. If we're handing it to them, they always like to hear a little love song singing in their ears, so that's kind of fun.
Whether it's superstitions, routines, or psyching out the opponent, these rituals keep athletes at their best and in the game. Tony Stauffer, BYU Sports Network.
Hey, and thanks, Tony. We appreciate that. And, certainly sometimes people think that athletes are, I'm having a real hard time. It's so cool. I can't even talk. But
you did the lead-in better the second time.
I'm glad I got a second chance to do it.
I liked it the second time better.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, anyway. We're going to go ahead and take another break here, which is probably a good thing for us. I promise we're going to be better when we get back. Stick with us. It's 6-2 BYU. Hey, welcome back. We've got Brandon Despain with Coach Pizarro on the sideline. Brandon.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, it's 6-2, not where you want to be. Talk us through that first half.
Well, it's no surprise. I mean, penalties have been killing us. I mean, that's something our team's been plagued with all season. I think aggressive, we've been letting them throw the ball around, and they've been having time of possession. I don't even know. I mean, it was probably 30 minutes where they had the ball. I think this time around, we got to get the ball back on offense, settle it up, run our plays, give our defense a rest, get some shots off. We should be good. We're only down by 4. We come back from way more. So.
Okay, thanks, Coach. We'll let you get back to the game. Okay, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Brandon, and thanks, Coach Pizarro. And, certainly he told us that they would have that attitude coming in. They might have a problem with penalties, but you can take a look here at the first half stats, and, certainly indicative of BYU controlling the game pace. Shots, double shots, and I guess I'll just go ahead and do it because we're all freezing cold. But we're back to live action, and, we're a little slow here today. Sorry, folks. So here we go, loose ball push on wide. It's going back to Florida. And there's Lombard now controlling for Florida. Defended there by Zach Davis, number 2. And Lombard takes a shot and gets it by the Keckney. So, maybe the BYU team coming out a little stiff and cold as we are, and Lombard puts it right through McKechnie's legs and cuts the lead to 3. And you take a look there. Again, you young players, puts it on the ground, makes it tough for the goalie to save.
You know, I've never seen two teams evacuate the field at halftime faster than Florida and BYU just did. At the whistle, they were running towards the locker rooms.
Well, I think we lost half the crowd too. So, and there's Lombard doing a great job on faceoffs for Florida, winning those draws. And we're going to get a loose ball push on White. It's going to go blue. So Lombard now controlling for Florida. Austin defending him. Rush Legneck now controlling for Florida. Gets it up top to number 24, that's Polarin. And there's number 11, Patrick. Back to Polarin. Florida slowing it down, trying to get a little time of possession probably here at the beginning. Pike gets it back there to Wax. Wax defended by Archibald.
Nice defense by Archibald. Real smart, great position, great body position.
And Wax puts one by McKechnie, so
on Archibald.
Archibald seemed to have good position defensively, but Wax was able to get that shot past him, and then McKechnie, maybe not expecting it, goes by him.
Wax a D1 transfer out of Delaware, and you know, that's one that you know, can't do much about as a goalie. It's right there. He tries his best to get down there, but you know, he's so close to the goal. Glenn did a good job trying to get there.
So that's all Jeremy Wax. It seems like Archibald had good position, and you know, so with 1 minute into the third quarter, and Florida puts 2 on the board. And they get the face-off again. So number 3, there's Sebastian Fox controlling it for Florida, loses it. Marshall K comes over the check. David Rowland trying to control it. And it goes back to Fox. Fox defended there by Zach Davis.
Florida wins their 3rd consecutive face-off there.
And evens it up 6-6. So 3 face-offs quick in the first half. And there goes Schlegneck. Shoots it out of bounds, but backed up there by Wax.
Right at the concession stands, probably looking for a cup of hot chocolate over there.
Something warm.
Bring one over here to us.
So there's Wax now, going to take it for Florida. So the complexion of the game changes in 1 minute. BYU with a commanding 4-goal lead. Now they only lead by 2.
Hand it to Coach Pizarro. He said they could come back, and it appears that he was right.
Now Donovan now for Florida, looking to almost take a shot there, gets hung up. Salmon coming out of it for BYU, and he's going to take it upfield.
Got a fast break, a 5-on-4 opportunity here for BYU.
And Salmon goes across there to, that's Steve Gwynn, number 18, freshman out of New Canaan, Connecticut. Back to Gwynn, he's gonna take the shot. The nice shot and a nice save there by the goalie for Florida.
He's gotta be able to pick it up if he's gonna
Rolfling's,
cage like that.
He's gonna get a withholding penalty, so that's gonna go to BYU, but probably not a bad play by him right there. I mean, it's an unsettled situation, and just sit on the ball and let your defense set up. So
great move, great move.
Smart
Don't
play.
give them an opportunity to pick up the ball and put it in while you're out of the cage.
Surrounded by 3 BYU players at the time, and just sits on it. So great play there by Rolfling.
Great look.
K over to Shumway with the nice shot. Shumway left-handed, puts it again off stick side, and I think that's the 4th goal BYU has scored in that exact corner.
And looks like a flag down late hit gonna happen here on Florida.
You know, I think you're starting to see Shumway grow up as a lacrosse player right here. He's missed a few nice feeds when he's been close in on that one. He's growing as a player and developing the confidence to pick that ball up and bury it.
And you young players, you see where BYU is beating this goalie. The goalie, Rolfling's had a great game. He's had a great game, but that off-stick side is just such a tough move for any goalie. That's where BYU's putting the ball. Now BYU's going to get this ball here without the face-off. That continuation on the penalty gives BYU the ball without the face-off, so they're going to be man up for a minute.
This will be a chance for BYU to regain that 4-goal lead that they had going into halftime, and look for Dan Cole to get a shot up top again.
Obviously looking to move the ball here for just a second. Tyre goes back to Cole. Tyre swinging to the left. He's got a great left hand. Austin just moving a little bit too quickly. Didn't have the ball yet. And
they had that same exact play the first time they had man up in this game, and same result, okay? Guy was wide open right next to the goal.
McCarron just does the Gilman clear downfield. Patrick unable to come up with it. McKechnie was all the way out of the cage. He was in that scrum. And here goes Salmon back the other way. BYU has numbers. Down to Marshall K. The long stick defender kind of jamming things up there. Tyre over to Monteith. Austin now settling it down for BYU. And we're even. We are even. Pete, you mentioned there's often confusion at the end of a man-up situation. Monteith trying to go with the cross pass. And Monteith just checks White out of the way. Nice body check there. Out called, trying to flip it upfield. And it looks like it went off the BYU player, Sam. And so Florida's going to get this ball.
Good hustle by both teams there. BYU hustled to try and get that ball back, and Florida did a good job of getting it up the field.
A nice check by Schlegneck at the end there to create the turnover.
Polaire, number 6, goes over to Johnson, 36 for Florida. I wonder how many of these Florida kids have never seen snow before.
Probably on TV.
It feels different, though, in person, I can guarantee that.
They aren't going to want to see it again after coming out here.
Polaire, okay, Florida failure to advance. Did not step in the box.
That's Florida's first failure to advance call of this game, and there's been 3 on BYU.
So now Salmon back over to McKechnie. Gets it over to Jordan Harris. Just flips it up to Monteith. They'll let the middies run it. So with a nice little dodge there on Patrick, the attack, and Monteith's bringing it down. He's got wheels. And they decide to settle it down. Probably the best decision in that situation. BYU looking to work the ball here a little bit with 10:40 left here in the third quarter. Already got 3 goals. Scored this quarter, and here goes Florida the other way.
Great outlet pass.
And there's a nice look. Schlegneck had it right on the crease and just unable to convert.
It's a shame. That was a beautiful play developing.
And there's Dan Cole going the other way with a nice clearing pass by Jordan Harris. Cole with the stick fake. He's going to go right hand. And a nice save by Rolfling.
Great save.
Look for another shot here.
Oh, and Marshall K with the left hand.
What an outlet pass.
What a dominant performance by Marshall today. What a dominant performance. Phenomenal. I'm so cold.
Dominant.
Phenomenal.
Magnanimous.
Don't try and pronounce anything with more than 3 syllables. Shumway here had a nice assist. So here's the...
What a
Schlegneck just unable to handle that one.
Good job by the defense there.
And here's Shumway. You talk about Shumway maturing as a lacrosse player. Sees K open. K, again, off stick side. I can't emphasize that enough, that the majority of BYU's goals have gone to that exact same place. Josh Austin now.
Good job by BYU to stop the bleeding, to get a couple of goals. Looks like they may get one here. Unsettled situation.
Shumway had an opportunity to just
heads up play by Shumway again.
Didn't quite have the ball. Looks like playing without the stick. They're going to call Shumway. He was down and may have grabbed somebody's stick with his hand or something, and so it's going to go to Florida. Florida with a redirect pass. McCarron there, number 25.
Tough pass.
Intercepted there by Maxfield.
Nice heads up play by Maxfield.
And he's got wheels. He's going to go to the cage to the left. Nice save by Rolfling. Shumway trying to just scoop it in
through there.
Shumway was trying to do a little hockey check and slap shot it in there, but unable to on the crease. But the hanging tough, and it looks like the flurries have settled down. The winds settled down, so it looks like a nice winter evening. Lombard clearing for Florida, going against Maxfield. Maxfield's going to let him go. Pike for Florida, number 10. Gets it to Schlegneck. Gets it over to Wax, number 5. Up to Patrick. And that's number 33, Biffle, going to the left with the sweep. Going against Steve Gwynn, and McKechnie up to that one.
Nice outlet pass.
Got a 5-on-4 break again for BYU. This proved successful last time down the field.
Zach Davis goes back to Maxfield, and bad pass by Zach Davis. That was at Maxfield's feet.
You know, I would have looked back for Murphy Smith on that pass. Murphy Smith was trailing the play, and nobody was concentrating on him. He would have had a terrific shot.
Good job by BYU to ride there and give themselves an opportunity to regain the ball here.
And that ball popped out backwards. Jordan Harris picking it up, goes back to his goalie, McKechnie. And McKechnie with a great play. I mean, a simple play, but I think everybody was looking one way, and he just turned around and threw it to Sam and the other way.
What a play by Zach Davis there to save the ball in bounds and give Cameron Archibald the chance there.
Here goes Marshall Kay with another shot. Just goes wide, but Cameron Archibald comes up with that ball, makes a nice pass to Marshall Kay.
Then backs up the shot. Not something you see from an average defender.
No, it's not, and he wasn't not looking to shoot first. He was looking to assist first. Just smart play by Cameron Archibald.
I would certainly call Cameron Archibald above average. Maybe even well above average.
Cameron Archibald's a special player. He's a great, great player, and you know, it's the guys that understand the little elements of the game, like finding the open man when you're a long stick coming down from the midfield line instead of thinking to shoot.
Now Marshall Kay settling it down for BYU, looking to go on Roland. Roland playing a nice defense. Maxfield, a freshman out of Arizona, goes over to Shumway. Shumway's man pressuring him out way at the restraining backs. Shumway able to beat him. Marshall Kay over to Josh Austin, unable to get a shot off. McCarron comes in and shuts that one down.
Good defensive play.
Looks like BYU's trying to invert here. They have some middies behind the goal.
And they're putting Shumway up top with that long stick, so advantage probably to BYU on both sides of that. You got Primish going against Evan Pike, number 10. And just a poor pass there by Austin as Roland picks that one up.
Nice heads-up play by Roland.
Back to Rofling.
Roland is as advertised. He's got great feet. He's really is athletic. He's had a nice game so far.
Getting close to the 20 seconds here. Florida needs to get it out of their defensive end.
And they're good call, Pete, because that 20 seconds, it moves faster than you think it does, and failure to advance for Florida. So BYU will get the ball at the corner.
Good job by the attack there to make the goalie and defense work and take their time looking at each other rather than looking upfield.
Take a look at the turnovers so far. Florida 25, BYU 24. Probably higher than both teams would like to see at this point, but
probably about right with the cold the way it is. You're not able to adjust as well as you'd like, and you know, that kind of stuff happens.
You don't often see that from Marshall Kay.
Yeah, but you do often see that from David Rowland.
Nice check there. A little bit of an unsettled situation. Kay decides to settle it up, goes to Maxfield. Maxfield takes a shot, doesn't really get anything on it, kind of flips out of his stick. And Lombard, number 13 for Florida, comes up with it, loses it, goes to Primash. Primash sees Shumway on the opposite side. Shumway's going to drive to the left, sees Kay behind. Kay settles it down.
Shumway's got a really nice first step. He's very quick. Nice check.
That was a nice check there by number 4, Hunter Outcott. Primash swings it around. Austin and Roland takes one in the back. So there's Danny White. He's got some wheels going the other way. Long stick midi for Florida.
He's a good long stick midi.
Great stick work, good wheels. Patrick
nice
coming
check.
up for
Jordan Harris. Nice
and
check
Harris
again.
does it again.
And he holds it.
Failure to advance on Florida, but two impressive things going on there. Jordan Harris with nice checks and Blaine Patrick holding on to the ball. Take a look here, you young players.
Nice,
nice
check. Love it.
Patrick comes up with it again. Harris is there on the check, does it again. And Patrick strong enough to just keep that ball in his stick. And now it's going back to BYU. Primish is now clearing it. Gets it in the, doesn't quite get in the box, but that's okay. Goes to Warner in the box.
You know, I'd like to see Patrick and Harris go at each other a little bit more tonight. That's a fantastic matchup.
You know, BYU has really controlled the ball almost the whole game on their offensive side of the field, and you know, that's really what's led to this 8-4 advantage. Not anything, you know, that BYU's doing different, or they're not playing really especially better. They're just holding the ball for a little bit longer, giving themselves a few more chances.
Marshall Kay drawing a triple
Great
team.
look.
Tyler Monteith unable to control that one, trying to quick stick it. Just didn't quite have it in his stick, and Dan Cole was turned around but hit him in the back. Donovan now trying to pick it up for Florida. Schwartz, number 22, now taking it for Florida against Monteith. He's going to go to the goal, and McKechnie with a nice save. But Charlie, it's just as you mentioned earlier, you know, Cameron Archibald going down for BYU looking for the assist, Schwartz going down looking for the goal, and a goalie's going to eat that up every time.
You could tell from when he crossed the restraining the midline that Schwartz was going to shoot if he had the opportunity. Cameron Archibald just did not have that mindset.
Well, and BYU gave him that opportunity. They let him go a little bit farther in than they would normally a midfielder on that type of search.
Schlagneck to Wax, and Wax trying to find the midi on the crease, unable to find him. Here goes Jordan Tyre the other way for BYU. And number 26, Bobby Sutter for Florida, was catching him. Great wheels. And Dan Cole's stick gets hung up there.
Florida's running a nice defense here today.
Schlagneck now beating Salmon at the midfield line, so Florida has numbers 3-on-2.
Good opportunity.
And Wax unable to hold it at the crease and takes some punishment from Harris. So Wax drops the ball and takes the punishment for it.
Ref reached for his flag here. You look, if you can see it. Ref reaches for his flag. Feels like it's not quite penalty.
McKechnie took quite a risk by stepping out of the cage there. It paid off for him, but that was risky.
Murphy Smith throws that one away.
Yep, he'd like that one back.
Had a guy a lot closer. Would have liked to see him pass it to Dan Cole, who's maybe about 10 yards away, rather than having to turn and throw back across his body all the way across the field.
Out called now. Trying to get it upfield, not really to anybody in particular. And Salmon comes up with it for BYU. Cameron Archibald, aware of the attackman coming behind him. That was number 15, Travis Coffey.
Nice outlet pass by McKechnie.
And gets it up to Tyre. Gets it to Shumway. And Shumway, an errant pass to Marshall Kay, but Marshall doesn't let it go by him. Kay had a beat on Roland, so he thought he'd try it. And nice little shot.
Good choice by Marshall. He lost it, kind of gave him a little advantage when he picked it back up. You know, took a shot that wasn't going to be saved. They retained possession.
I think Florida's actually playing some different defenders in there now. Eric Abrams is in there, number 35. Shumway up top for BYU.
You know, Florida's also pulled back on the throttle a little bit on defense. They're not pressing outside the restraining box anymore.
Well, and you wonder if that's a fatigue issue. It is close to the fourth quarter. 5,000-foot elevation. They're going to call a moving pick on Chris Warner. Interference.
As they should.
And we're going to get a timeout here. Looks like BYU's going to go ahead and take a timeout, as are we. BYU leads Florida 8-4 with 2:05 left in the third quarter. We've got a lot of lacrosse left. Stick with us. Hey, welcome back. There's a good look at Marshall Kay. Pete, dominating tonight.
What a great performance by Marshall. You know, really been the beneficiary of a lot of great plays by his teammates, but he's really been, 5 out of 8 goals, 5 goals on 8 shots. That's the type of thing that's going to get it done the rest of the year.
So Florida now taking the opportunity to clear. There's Bainham.
Great heads-up play.
Brandon was listening to Coach Lamb on that last timeout. Brandon, what did Coach Lamb have to say?
Coach Lamb really was praising his offense on the picks that they'd been setting. He said keep that up because Florida did not know what to do when they were setting those picks. Also, he said if the offense got the ball back to end this quarter, that they were going to be patient and hold on to it. So look for that, guys.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. So the ball's going to go to Florida here. There's Lombard number 13. And Florida's going to have an opportunity to see if they can't close the gap here. Put another one on the board. They have not had a great amount of possession time in their set offense during this game.
No, but this is where they got their game started by scoring a man-up goal. Look for them to do the same thing this time.
So there's Wax up to Pike, number 10. Lombard over to Patrick. He's the guy that scored that first one. Schlagneck just gets it by McKechnie. Again, that off-stick side shot, very effective. Goalie just difficult for the goalie to get his stick to that off-stick side. And Schlegneck with a nice one.
Good ball movement here. Schlegneck just, look how quick he gets this shot off. No chance for Glenn McKechnie here. You know, maybe he should have been a little bit closer to the pipe there, but, you know, great job by the Florida offense.
I noticed that too. Very quick release by Schlegneck on that shot.
You can see the man-up opportunities. BYU 3 of 8, Florida 2 of 4. So good percentage for Florida and 50%. And they close the gap here to 3 goals. It's 8-5 BYU. And we've got Josh Austin now bringing it down for BYU, and the snowflakes seem to be getting a little bigger.
Yeah, but they're not going sideways.
So you'll take that?
I'll take it. That's a trade I'll take. We're getting snow accumulation on our table.
Bad choice by Chris Warner there to take it inside of a bunch of players. You know, really doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball once he gets inside.
And Maxwell needs to get it in the box. He does. Now Chris Warner gets it back to Marshall Kay. BYU looking to just settle it down. Probably looking for a last shot here in the third quarter. 35 seconds left. Shumway gets it into the box.
Again, trying to set up a few key guys in this game. You know, Drew Shumway has been given a green light on a lot of these plays. Look for him to get a lot more opportunities on these dodges here.
And here's Primus to Shumway with 10 seconds left. Look for him to isolate with the long stick out top. And, oh, there's a nice check by Bainham. So Shumway thought he was going to take the long stick and go along with it, and Bainham with a nice check. Credit the Florida defense, keeping BYU from scoring a cheap one there at the end of the quarter. Well, we're going to take a break here with BYU leading 8-5. You can see the snow accumulation on the table. Hey, and welcome back, and give a little props to the crowd there. They're braving it out, watching a great lacrosse game in some cold, and boy, you can see the, oh, hey, there we are. You can see us huddled up here, and Charlie's keeping me warm, but you know, not all of you have the lovable Charlie with you.
It's a dream come true, Marty.
It is, as is for me. Murphy Smith now beat down on that ground ball, able to pick it up, and unable to get it to Drew Shumway. So an excellent ground ball, but not a great outlet pass, but now the ball's out of bounds. Let's see how they go. They're going to go to BYU. Brandon was listening to Coach Pizarro during that last time out. Brandon, what did Coach have to say?
In the Florida huddle, they talked about how they scored 3 goals last period and how they're only down by 3. He talked to them how they need to push the pressure and be aggressive and to maybe score 3 goals this period to tie it up or maybe steal a win. Guys?
Thanks, Brandon. And Marshall Kay now gets it up to Shumway, to Jordan Tyre, and BYU, again, controlling on the offense. Much better than, you know, in the past couple of games as far as control. Coach Lamb's going to be happy with that, but only a 3-goal lead here. Certainly, Florida can make a run.
Coach Pizarro was right. It's a good strategy if this defense can hold. Anything can happen here in this fourth quarter.
Dan Cole with a rocket.
Misses that one over the fence.
I think it went through the fence, actually.
He can shoot, he can shoot. Again, you know, just trying to blow it by the goalie before the goalie has a chance to react.
You know, and there are a few players out there, and Dan Cole is certainly one of them, that can just absolutely blow it by the goalie. I would say the majority of players can't, but you know, he's one of them. Special player.
You know, that's the way he plays the game, and it's worked out well for him.
Tyre with a nice shot. The bounce shot goes wide, but Shumway with the follow-up.
Great heads-up play by Drew Shumway there. Catch the ball off the bounce. That's a tough ball to pick up, especially in the snow. Great job. You watch it here, great angle. See him pick it up, and goalie has no chance. He's out of position.
Great attack position there, Charlie.
Drew Shumway is now on the radar of BYU lacrosse fans and should be on the USL MDIA radar out there. So he's a true freshman, and he is really gaining confidence, it seems, with every quarter that goes by.
So Austin facing off for BYU, Lombard for Florida. Sorry, no, that was Fox for Florida. 3, not 13. And they've got a loose ball push on Florida. There's Drew Shumway. You can see his goals, 3 assists, probably more impressive tonight, Pete.
Yeah, this has been a really, really good game for Drew to play in. I think this is his highest point total of the year. You know, it's really, I'm surprised how well the attack unit is working today. You know, they're all working together. You know, Sam Maxfield maybe hasn't really got into the game as much as he did last game, but you know, this attack unit's going to be good by the end of this year.
Marshall Kay now going against Roland up top. And check down there. Donovan takes down Kay, and then Donovan is going to get a penalty. The player was on the ground. I think that was Chris Warner. Chris Warner was on the ground already, and Donovan came in and checked him. You can't body check a player when he's on the ground like that.
Yeah, but when your nickname is Berserker, you can do just about whatever you want.
That's his job.
That's true. And I guess you've now found out why. Take a look at the ground balls there. BYU 48, Florida 30, and dominating ground balls, but you know, a lot of those are drop passes that are picked up. And
he's still not moving this ball, especially fast at the beginning of this man-up play. It's only, you know, it's not a whole lot of time. It's 1 minute. You know, bad mistake there.
Wow,
silly mistake.
That was just sloppy. And then Dan Cole just makes it worse.
Florida will have the opportunity to take some time off the board here.
And we're going to be in an even situation for a little while. And they're going to get a slash on Cole. You know, you young players, you know, you get beat like that and you're chasing a guy down the field and you start whacking him. It's an easy call for the referees to call a slash. And, you know, it's a risky check to be just whacking away at the guy like that. Once in a while you get the ball, but
1 minute.
I think it's officially snowing.
I didn't expect the slash call on that play, I have to tell you. I thought that Dan was, it was out of control, but he was swinging in the close enough to the stick to me that I thought I'm a little surprised by that call.
Well, they actually called 2 separate slashes on him on that one, and he's going to be he's going to be in the box for 2 minutes.
Oh. Did they call a slash when he dove, Pete? Is that what they called that second one?
I think that's when they called the second one.
Well, this is a huge opportunity for Florida.
Which was interesting because he didn't even hit the stick on that second one, but because he was considered out of control, they called a slash.
You know, it's going to be 5-on-5 here for probably about another 10 to 15 seconds. Then they're going to have an opportunity for about 1.5 minutes to be man up. This is where they've had quite a few, half their goals have come on the man up opportunities. This is not a good thing for BYU.
Wax drops it for Florida. McKechnie comes up with it. BYU's going to have an opportunity to move it up the field. Now, Florida is now in a man-up situation. The penalty has been released for Florida. Murphy Smith trying to get it all the way across the field to Salmon, unable to do so. Schlegneck comes up with it. And Florida's going to be in their man-up.
For about half a second when Schlegneck stepped on the line, but they didn't make that call.
Pike gets it over to Lombard. He's going to take it and goes wide.
Good backup by Florida there. Now they can get into their settled man-up.
These shots coming at the goalies with the snow in their face, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to pick this up. And
both teams just hoping to get out of this with all of their digits. Fingers, toes, it's cold.
I'm just hoping to get out with my toes. They're freezing.
The guys I really feel for are the reserves on the bench. They're standing there in shorts.
Yeah, they've got to be ready to go. Got to be ready to go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the Florida guys, I feel for them, seriously. I mean, they just are not used to this weather at all.
Oh, McKechnie. Oh, didn't
save.
Did that get to him, Pete? I couldn't quite see.
Looked like it got to him and bounced out.
Great save, great save.
Sure.
And a great backup.
So it's going to go to BYU. Cameron Archibald on the backup.
But once a game, he gets that. He's such a smart player back there, willing to sacrifice his body and dive to make the play. Pretty.
And there's a nice clear, at least a nice opportunity.
Pretty not aggressive ride by Florida there.
Yeah, Zach Davis just able to come across and, just a nice little pass by Harris. Just they didn't connect it, but, wide open.
Look for Zach Davis to get this ball back for BYU.
You see Florida slowing down a little bit.
They seem to be 10.5 minutes left. Florida's still man up here. I'm not going to say that they have to get a goal on this man-up situation, but it's going to be difficult if they don't score a goal on this man-up situation for them to win. Great check.
Zach Davis with a nice wrap check.
Coming up on the end of the man-up for Florida.
Great look.
And Schlegneck got a little look. McKechnie on the save. Here goes Pike. Again, the confusion. Oh, McKechnie! And are they going to call it in? It bounced over his head, and I think that was Harris who got the clamp down.
I could not follow that sequence.
That was a great play by Jordan Harris because that ball bounced up and right over McKechnie's head. It looked like it was rolling in. Jordan Harris put the clamp down on the ball, pulled it out.
Everybody's having a tough time seeing this ball now. Look for a lot of balls to start dropping.
Yeah, this game is going to get sloppy. There is no question.
Watch out.
Yeah, a long pass in the lights and the snow and there's a nice little pass by Salmon on his knees, under control. And Archibald trying to get it upfield. Steve Gwynn not able to come up with it. It's going back the other way. It's number 17, Brandon Bowl for Florida. Takes a little shot. And there's Patrick.
What a play.
Coffee able to come up with that one.
Crazy sequence.
Great hit by Florida. Knocks the ball right to his teammate. Coffee scores the goal.
That's the second time tonight Coffee's had a ball just pop in his stick.
Great save by Glenn here. You know, Kevin does a nice job holding onto the ball there.
And Coffee just finds it.
Easy, easy goal for Coffee there. Easy, easy goal. These are the perfect conditions for Florida to get back into this game. It's cold. Everybody wants to get off this field.
BYU taking a little bit of a lead. It was 6-6, and BYU winning the last 4 faceoffs. Here goes Monteith, and Murphy Smith, I don't know if he'll come up with that one, but Monteith does. So BYU winning another faceoff. They're going to look to control this ball here a little bit. Or I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh, but Marshall
Great save.
Marshall
Save
K
by
tried to
Walker.
just dink it there, and Rolfing, it's a nice save.
Fast break, Florida.
That is 2 speedsters right there, Danny White and Monteith running down
That's
the
an
field.
obvious hold.
Remember the...
So, again, I'm not sure exactly how the referees make that call right now, but it's a judgment call to determine if the momentum is still moving in the offensive players, the offensive teams.
Looks like it's going to be a 30-second hold on Jordan Harris. His stick just kind of got caught inside the Florida player. And looks like Florida's going to get the opportunity to bring it within 2 goals here. You can see Coach Pizarro excited about this opportunity.
You still got a good crowd over there. You know, we got to give some props to them.
They might be frozen to their seats.
They can't leave. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Schlegneck with a nice shot. Goes wide.
The BYU defense, if they keep giving up stuff like that, they may end up on the losing side of this game. Wide open shot, about 10 yards from the goal. That's one that's going to be made most of the time.
In these conditions.
McKechnie on that one. So, excuse me, Glenn McKechnie seems to be up to the task so far here, even in these conditions.
Nice shot by Pike. You notice how he got his whole body torque into it. Really got a lot of power behind that shot.
I'm not sure if those fans were too happy.
No, I can understand.
And
nice
here goes Pat Owen.
Knockdown.
Getting his stick in the way. That's Andrew Byrne.
Andrew Byrne making his first appearance on TV this year.
Taylor Redd not in there for BYU today, and Byrne taking his place there in the man down situation and makes a nice play because I think Patrick was looking to that one to unload.
In these conditions, you just have to think, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Great position by McKechnie because Pike came around, the roll dodge on the inside, and McKechnie was hugging that post.
McKechnie's having a great game.
He is. He's really been, you know, he's really a leader on this defensive end, even though he's a guy who was a backup for part of the year last year. And
this is where BYU
had
had problems against Arizona on plays like that.
And there's a
hit
by Lillenquist. Lillenquist taking out White because McKechnie was out of the cage there. White should have just put it down and taken a shot. And there's Gwynn. He's going to go to the hoop. Smart play by Gwynn. Didn't have the shot, didn't have the angle, just takes it to X, settles it down. Good sequence there by BYU.
Boy, I'll forgive Fitzpatrick. Is it Fitzpatrick? I can't say it. I'll forgive him those drop passes at the beginning of the game for that hit. That hit was great.
You can take a look here in the fourth quarter. Florida's dominating with 10 shots. McKechnie up to the case, so up to the, you know, I don't even have my cliches anymore. But Florida leading 10-3 in shots in the fourth quarter.
You know, it'll be interesting to see how long BYU holds onto this ball, whether Coach Lamb has felt that they need to, you know, kind of take the air out of the ball, or if they're going to continue to press towards that goal.
And there's Jordan Tyre, and then again backed up by Shumway. So the
Does
second
it
time
again.
in a row.
Does it again.
They must have practiced this play this past week. The bounce pass to Drew behind the goal, and him approaching GLE with a what a great sequence for Tyre and Drew.
This is a repeat from about 5 minutes ago, in case you didn't see it. Jordan Tyre with the left-handed bounce shot. I can barely see it. I don't know how Shumway picks up the shot.
I have no idea.
That's why he's playing and we're not.
That's part of the reason, yes. The other part's an eligibility issue.
Yeah, that in about 20 years past.
20 years of eligibility.
Yeah.
Now, for those folks who may just be joining us, don't adjust your sets. That is snow. And hopefully you're watching snow in high def. I don't know, but it is crazy. You're starting to get some accumulation on the field where the lines are becoming difficult to see. But, you know, boys playing in the snow, it's like they're 9 years old again. What do they care? And Florida, just, you know.
Where's the ball?
Poor pass there by Florida. Sunner's coming up with it.
I wonder if they gave Jordan Tyre the assist on those two passes to Drew Shumway.
They certainly should have.
Looked planned to me.
So with a 4-goal lead, you look to see, you know, is it taking the air out of Florida at this point?
You know, I'm not sure that Florida has the talent to be able to come back. You know, a lot of their goals have come on uneven situations, man up, man down, fast breaks, and so not sure that 5 minutes left in this game they're going to be able to pull that off. But, you know, BYU can't let up, you know, especially in this type of weather.
So Polarin unable to come with that one for Florida, and it goes out of bounds. And this will be a story for these kids from Florida to tell anyway. That you know, a lot of the squad is from Florida, and maybe have never experienced something like this. But
they've probably never played a game in a snowstorm.
Well, it could be a long time. Here, this is the exact opportunity they're looking for. It could be a long time before Florida decides to come back to Utah for a lacrosse game.
Yeah, I could understand that.
So now Danny White controlling for Florida. Gets it up to Schlegneck.
Tough break for Florida there. They really had, you know, the ball wide open for the goal. The guy just missed it. Would have put them back in striking distance if they would have been able to get that one there.
BYU with an early slide. Florida makes a nice pass. And the flag's down. And again, the refs don't blow the whistle because
you guys are kidding me.
Florida maintains possession.
I'm not okay with that rule.
Still no whistle.
Yep. Even on a shot, it's okay if the ball goes out of the box or BYU gains possession. Then that's when it's going to be blown.
See, and this may be part of the issue. Is now you've got a BYU player hurt, and it's a very different situation where the players are used to stopping once they have a dead ball.
I was just going to say how surprised I am that we haven't seen injuries in these conditions. The field is slick. Everyone's muscles are cold.
31 White, illegal body check, 1 minute.
Who is that on the ground?
Zach Davis. Looks like they're looking at his legs. Something may have happened down in the knees to ankle region there.
That usually encompasses the leg, the knee to ankle.
I had the opportunity to coach Zach Davis at Orem High. His senior year was a dominant attackman, and really one game he had 10 assists.
Jeez.
I mean, you know, great player, really made me look like a good coach. Kind of like what I did for you guys.
It's exactly right, Pete. When you played goalie for me, you certainly made me look like a good coach.
I had the opportunity to play against Tim Nelson in high school, and in one game, he had 8 points against me. He had 7 assists and 1 goal.
Are you sure you want to be saying that on the air?
Well, it's Tim Nelson.
It's,
I mean, come on.
It's snowing. Everybody's cold.
We love the self-deprecating.
Yeah, we got to come up with material.
There we go. BYU with a nice defensive effort there.
Glenn McKechnie way out of the goal on that save.
And Archibald has the ball. 2 Florida players go sliding by literally.
It's hard to see the lines now.
Patrick trying to, and successfully pushes Archibald out of bounds.
Archibald really should have pushed that upfield. He had a couple guys across the field who were open who probably could have had a better opportunity to clear that ball.
And that's always a tough play. I mean, as a defense or a midfielder, bringing it up the field, I mean, to get pushed out of bounds, you really need to be aware of where you are in the field and either get the ball upfield, stop, or something so that the player doesn't push you out. Patrick over to Pike.
Florida has certainly had their opportunities in this fourth quarter. A lot of time of possession in the fourth quarter.
Patrick over to Lombard. And Pike drops it but picks it up. Florida looking for the opportunity here in the man up, and we're going to be in an even situation here in just a couple of seconds. Lombard takes a shot, it goes wide. Wax puts one by McKechnie, and the play is getting a little sloppy out there.
No question.
You know, look for Paul Henderson to work on. Paul Henderson is the defensive coach for BYU, the defensive coordinator. Look for him to spend a lot of time this week on man down. Not impressed with what they've been able to do today.
See, I think there was a little bit of, you can see Archibald, see, he's not even looking at the ball on the ground. I think he either thought it went in the cage or went way wide, and Florida just able to put it in. But 3-goal deficit here with 3 minutes left. I would say in normal conditions, certainly Florida has an opportunity to come back. In these conditions, I'm not so sure.
I think this may actually give them a better opportunity. You're gonna have a lot more unsettled situations, a lot more balls on the ground. You know, it's gonna give them those type of opportunities that you're not necessarily gonna get on a dry day.
BYU coming up with possession on that faceoff is certainly gonna hurt their chances.
You know,
and there goes Danny White.
They've been pressuring out. They've been pressuring all day, and
there goes Jordan Harris. Jordan Harris just a vacuum out there. Sees Primish up there, and again, ball's going down now. And we're gonna get, BYU's gonna get this ball. They're gonna get a loose ball push. Kind of got a push on the head there a little bit.
Looks like we got a slash on Florida. It's gonna give BYU a man up with a minute. You know, if they can drain away this minute, that should be able to give them the win.
So Charlie, you're the coach. Do you take this opportunity and just work it for a minute? You work the time, or do you take the shot?
No, you're coaching for the win. You want to hold on to the ball. I think for this minute, maybe take one good shot, but you better make sure that thing is backed up.
As we get close to the 2-minute mark when BYU has to keep it in the box, it'll be interesting to see if these refs are able to see the box, because right now I can't.
You know, the interesting coaching move on this man-up possession for BYU is how hard do you press if you're the Florida defense. I think they really don't have much of an option. I think they have to press out maybe a little more than they are right now to create the opportunity to get a turnover.
So you've got 2:27 left here. Monteith for BYU is going to take the left-handed shot and gets stopped by McKay.
That's a ball that Dan Cole needs to come up with. Good look by Kay.
Great play by the long stick.
I think Harris got away with a push in the back there, but goes back to BYU, and they've got to keep it in the box now with 2:03 left. They're going to have to keep it in the box, and it goes out. And the ball's way down the field now.
I don't even know how it got down there.
McKechnie goes out to get it to Harris, and players are sliding across the field. Unable to get that one is Tyre, and it is getting crazy out there.
No one really knows
bouncing around like a pinball.
Feel bad for the cameraman.
My mother-in-law tells me last week, how do you keep track of the ball? I said, well, it's not hard, but it is tonight. Oh, and Monteith.
Great shot by Monteith.
Monteith with the left-handed shot. Again, off stick side. Great shot.
That's the type of play that Monteith should be doing more often. He's really kind of been off his shot this year, and this is something that may be able to get his confidence back coming back into the next game.
It seems that Monteith's been concentrating on the pace of his shot and not the location of his shot, and that was different.
I saw the snow bounce off the net there. So BYU extends the lead to 4 goals, minute 26. Very tough task for Florida at this point. You can see the field starting to get covered with snow. And we've got another illegal procedure penalty on Florida. Oh, they're calling it against BYU. So that's going to go to Florida. Lombard going to control for Florida. Lombard's taking the left. Oh, the right-handed bounce shot. Probably opportunities they could have taken earlier in the game to take that shot, but
really impressed with Lombard. He's come out and shown what kind of player he is.
It looks like that may have hit Salmon's stick. I didn't quite get a good look at it, but looked like it may have deflected just a little bit there on Salmon's stick number 4 for BYU.
Well, it should be said that Lombard scored that shot while Murphy Smith was covering him on defense, and that's no small task to put that shot past Murphy Smith, who really didn't seem to be interested in checking Lombard on that play. I think he was just moving very well with the ball.
Great bounce shot, bounced high. It's a tough one for every goalie to save.
And here goes Josh Austin trying to get it around and unable to do so. Certainly wanted to give props to Coach Lamb and going back to the traditional white helmets, a la Bronco Mendenhall, and went to the Rydell helmets, and Cougars looking good in white this year.
Well, I want to give props to Coach Lamb in adjusting his game plan, because this is not the team that we saw play Arizona. It's a much more sound team on their clearing, which I think keys this victory tonight.
Absolutely.
Florida's out of bounds. BYU's going to have the opportunity to keep it in the box and just kind of get us all inside.
Which we appreciate.
Yes. No horn. Let's play.
Can you override that, Pete? Can you override the referees, you think? You've got some power, I think, some pull.
You know, lots of these refs will probably be hearing from all 3 of us this year. Well, let's not try and push our luck.
Always good to keep them on your side. So there's Marshall K. He's going to get it in the box. BYU's just going to look to settle this down and work the clock. Florida continuing to pressure and getting the ball. Nice interception.
We have a flag down here. It's like an illegal body check on Florida.
Again, that pressure not paying off for Florida because of the penalty. Good pressure, good hustle out there all the way to the end, but making it tough with the penalty. Here's a good look at Jordan Tyre, number 27.
Had a couple of great assists to Drew behind the goal today.
Bounce pass assists. Now Kay gets it back to Austin. McCarron blocks that one. It was intended for Monteith, but McCarron comes up with it. Again, pressuring out very far in the man up.
Well, they have to right now, and I'm a little bit surprised how poorly they're playing here at the end of the game. You know, obviously it probably has something to do with the snow, but still need to make better decisions even in the snow. Maybe making some snow angels later, I guess.
Florida just throwing the ball downfield. Harris getting it upfield to Cole, unable to handle it. Just a little sloppy now with 10 seconds left. And the ball looking to roll out of bounds.
Stay in.
Yeah, will it stay in?
And that is the game. BYU wins this one 11-8. BYU certainly happy, I think, to get back on the winning track. And like you said, Charlie, this was a different BYU team tonight than we saw against Arizona.
I agree. Yeah, I did say that.
So you agree with yourself? Well,
I was right.
That's very good.
A little bit surprised that BYU wasn't able to win this game by a little bit more. Very impressed with what Florida brought. They brought some great midfielders, and they brought a great man-up unit. But this is a game that BYU normally wins by 8 to 10 goals, and I'm not sure how good BYU is yet this year.
Hey, stick with us with the final stats. We'll be right back. Hey, and welcome back to a snowy South Field at the campus of Brigham Young University. BYU has won this contest 11 goals to 8, and University of Florida today looking to, show their themselves as a dominant program in the USL-MDIA, and I think they gave BYU a great contest today.
Very impressed with what Florida brought today. They didn't bring everybody. They're missing a star attackman for them. Wondering what it would have been like if they would have had him here. Coach Pizarro has done a great job of preparing his team for this opportunity.
We've got the final stats here. Let's take a look at those. Shots even. Saves pretty even. Ground ball, huge difference there, Charlie.
Big difference, but a lot of drop balls. I mean, I would think that would be more impressive if it had been played a little bit cleaner, kind of like last week.
Clears, I think, much better for BYU this week than last, and most importantly, the 11-8 score. BYU winning this week against Utah State 11-0, winning today 11-8. Heading to Florida next week to play Florida State, Wesleyan, and Georgia Tech. An important road trip for them as they continue on their quest to get back to the national championship. The schedule really lays out for them well to do that, Charlie.
There's a lot of opportunity for them in their schedule coming forward because they're playing some very, very good teams. But I think Pete raises a very important point. I think we're still not sure exactly what we've got here with this BYU team. Shumway played great tonight. Cape played great tonight. That was a bit of a surprise how well Shumway performed. The defense is very strong, and McKechnie was nice in the cage. But can they put it together against a really great team? Florida State's going to give them a real good game.
That's going to be a great game for them. Florida State beat them in the national championship tournament last year. Our next broadcast is April 8th as BYU takes on the University of Oregon, and the next BYU TV broadcast is women's gymnastics on Wednesday, March 15th at 7 p.m. And women's gymnastics team, a great team, highly ranked in the national rankings, and that'll be a great broadcast. And our next lacrosse game, like I mentioned, against University of Oregon, April 8th. So you're going to want to come with us and see us again. You can see our cameraman there hiding under the tarps. We're all going to head inside where it's warm, where the hot chocolate is. BYU wins this one, 11-8 for myself, Charlie Friedman, and Pete Stevenson, and Jason Parker in the truck. We thank you and have a good night.